The word chemistry comes from alchemy. Alchemy comes from the Arabic al-kimia, kimia being a translated form of kemet, the word Egyptians called themselves. Therefore alchemy, and through evolution of words, chemistry, mean etymologically speaking, from Egypt. Language to the Egyptians was imbued with magic power. The world was created through words, an idea blatantly stolen by Christians in the New Testament. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. A quote by the Indian author and essayist Ajit Mukherjee about tantric concepts will likely sum up the belief the Egyptians had on words. Everything that we see and feel in the universe, from thought or idea to matter, is sound in a particular concentration. Sound is geometry. The patterns that reverberate all across nature and the universe is known as sacred geometry. When you are spelling words, you are literally casting a spell. The idea that words contain power is still reflected in our language, even if unconsciously. Language is not something invented by humans, but rather a discovery. What we are doing in actuality is composing music, what the very fabric of existence consists of. We even recognize this in other life: birdsong, cricket chirps, whale calls, dolphin laughs, wolf howls, so on and so forth. Pythagoras had an idea called the harmony of the spheres. He purports that the planets, the sun, and the moon produce an inaudible frequency of noise that affects all things on Earth, a resonant frequency or music of the universe. Pythagoras is credited with discovering harmonics, an important musical principle. He applied harmonics to the planets through math and numerology. What he came up with is a sort of solar system model that can be construed to resemble a musical instrument and sacred geometric patterns, which are expressions of sound through shape. Science today is only playing catch-up with Pythagoras. We can see that these patterns reflected in orbital resonance. Planets exert regular, periodic influences on each other. We also know that planets produce noise, electromagnetic frequencies outside of the audio spectrum our ears are capable of interpreting. Schumann resonances exist on Earth and are being discovered in other planets. Every orbiting body contains a vibrational noise, which by principle of sound can harmonize. Pythagoras studied in Egypt for 22 years and brought many ideas to the Western world. Things such as reincarnation, vegetarianism, numerology, astrology, music. Even the term philosophy was coined by Pythagoras as lover of wisdom. These Egyptian esoteric beliefs were all made popular by Pythagoras in Greece and Italy at the time. His theorem of triangles existed in Babylon 1,000 years before he lived, and at best he either provided proofs for it or merely introduced it into the thinkers of Greece and Rome. Among his other works, Pythagoras contributed the ideas of the spherical shape of the Earth, the 5 climate zones, the 5 platonic solids, proportions, and tuning. But his ideas of geometry, numerology, and music would inspire many influential and significant people for the next 2,000 years. Socrates, Aristotle, Plato, Kepler, Copernicus, Newton, Henry David Thoreau, Dante Alighieri, the Rosicrucians, the Freemasons, the Illuminati. Pythagoras played a huge role in the development of the Hermetic corpus, which in turn gave rise to what is essentially a celebrity list of famous people from before, during, and after the Renaissance era, all of which credit their own life's work to the Hermetica, at least to an important extent. Da Vinci, Botticelli, Thomas More, William Blake, Mozart, Michelangelo, Raphael, Shakespeare, Francis Bacon, John Dee, Carl Jung, Robert Flood, Paracelsus, and pretty much any artist, thinker, or scientist from before the 1700s, and a number of prominent people thereafter. Herodotus, a famous Greek historian who lived from 550 to 479 BCE, had this to say about Egypt. The Egyptians are religious to excess, beyond any other nation in the world. They are meticulous in everything which concerns their religion. It was only, if I may put it so, the day before yesterday that the Greeks came to know the origin and form of the various gods. The names of all the gods came to Greece from Egypt, for the names of all the gods have been known in Egypt from the beginning of time. Greek cosmology and philosophy comes from Egypt, and by association the Roman one as well. Almost directly in every way, so much so that even the Greek people at the time acknowledged it and were proud of it. To them there was no more intellectual and glorious a civilization than the Egyptians. Pythagoras studied in Egypt for 22 years and would eventually introduce a working mathematical and geometric concept for how and why astrology affects us. Astrology has been practiced thousands of years by humans, and probably millions of years by beetles. In a most fundamental explanation of astrology, it is no more than an observation of an environmental factor with a wide range of influences. Understanding that sound and gravity and electromagnetic frequency affects everything, it is simple to grasp that planets, stars, and the moon have been exerting subtle influences on Earth since before the planets even formed. These influences have helped to shape all life on Earth for the past 3 to 4 billion years since it first emerged. It comes as no surprise to find that these influences are observable and regarded highly and recorded meticulously by every culture around the world. Mayan, Chinese, Egyptian, Hebrew, Celtic, Indian, all have their own zodiac signs and astrological systems. Alchemy is often referred to as lower astronomy, as it is essentially an application of astrology in studying and practicing nature and the world. Alchemy is inseparable from astrology. The Egyptian sacred mysteries and beliefs, alchemy, would shape Western thought forever.